This is World Awakenings, the fast track to enlightenment with your host, Carl Gruber. World Awakenings is a podcast dedicated to opening your mind, your heart, and your eyes to the fact that the world's population is now, more than ever, awakening to all things metaphysical and spiritual, and just how they play an all-important role in our daily life. So join Carl on this enlightening experience as he interviews metaphysical and spiritual experts to discuss, debate, and delve deeply into the hows and whys of this worldwide awakening.
We welcome you to the World Awakenings podcast. Before we start, we'd like to tell you about a special ebook written by the show's host, Carl Gruber. The Three Pillars, a simple three-step process to manifest positive and permanent change in your life. The concise 32-page Three Pillars ebook will teach you how to become a successful and consistent co-creator of your life path with the law of attraction. Yes, you can manifest the life you truly desire, and the ebook is absolutely free. Simply go to Carl's website, carlgruberlifecoach.com. That's KARLGRUBER lifecoach.com. Click on the header title About Me and get the free download today. Carl Gruber's free ebook, The Three Pillars, will positively change your life.
Hi, and welcome once again to the podcast World Awakenings, the fast track to enlightenment, where we discuss and delve into all things spiritual and metaphysical and ask the question, why now more than ever is the population of the world awakening to all things enlightening? I'm your host, Carl Gruber, and in this episode, number 31, we're talking to a lovely lady from Rotterdam, Netherlands, Adrienne Kopp. Adrienne realized her dream in 1973 to become a state-registered nurse after completing her studies at, if I can get this, Rutgers, you can correct me here in a little bit, hospital, and the Carinus College in Cape Town, South Africa, which is her home country. She went on to specialize as a scrub sister in neurosurgery for 17 years, and it was during this time that her awareness of how alternative therapies improved and promoted long-lasting health. Now, in 2005, she and her husband, Fred, moved to the United Kingdom, where she discovered Rhonda Byrne's book, The Secret, and realized that the law of attraction had played such a large role in her life, which motivated her to learn more about it. Now, this resulted in her going to two workshops run by Bob Doyle, of fame of being in the movie The Secret. Bob's workshops, the Wealth Beyond Reason program, and the Boundless Living Challenge, which led Addie to become a qualified EFT teacher. The EFT, also called Emotional Freedom Therapy, also known as tapping. And, of course, she is a health coach. Addie's main goal as a coach and teacher is to empower, teach, and guide people to a happy, healthier, and more enjoyable life. And she has her own website called Inspired Health Solutions and a Facebook page called Body, Mind, Soul, and Spirit. And now living in the Netherlands, welcome, Addie. So glad to have you to World Awakenings.
Thank you for the welcome, and that was quite some introduction. Thank you very much, Paul.
Well, it's all about you. I mean, everything's true. Addie and I have known each other for a number of years. We were founding members of a group called ASAP Coaching a few years ago, which is called As Soon as Possible Emergency Life Coaching, which we did. An enjoyable group of people. Right now, that's on a little bit of hiatus. We're going to look into that a little bit more later on. But Addie, so let me ask you, we know how crazy things are in the world, but I just want to ask you real quick, how did you end up moving from London to the Netherlands? How did you choose the Netherlands to be there?
Well, my husband is an ex-Dutchman. He left Holland the Netherlands when he was 14. And when we decided we wanted to move, we had to move from South Africa, we moved to the UK because at that stage I thought I could still do my nursing, but the British Nursing Association did not accept my qualification. They wanted me to do everything over again. And at that stage, I said, no, thank you, not at my age. So we did some other jobs, and we landed up in the care industry, both my husband and myself. And we just decided we're sitting in the middle of nowhere. We've got family in Hong Kong, we've got family in the Netherlands, and family in South Africa. And we just decided we wanted to be closer to two of our grandchildren at least. Mm-hmm. And it was the right time to do the move, and we just did it. And we were fortunate in getting a flat almost immediately, and we took the plunge and moved. And then the other side, I also find the Dutch more receptive and open to alternative medicine. In fact, they do not like antibiotics. So found myself to be quite at home here, and I'm hoping to advance more with my coaching and wellness, and especially EFT.
Well, and you certainly, your timing was good because you got the move done before it was a little bit harder to travel, which is still the state of that. Let me ask you, what inspired you to start your Inspired Health Solutions business?
While on the Boundless Living Challenge with Bob Doyle, I got introduced to Brad Yates and Carol Luke, and through them and somebody called, I know his surname is German. Anyway, they sort of said, because I still liked my medicine, but didn't believe in the way it was going. It was making money out of ill people, which I don't believe in. And I love the alternative methods better. They said to me, well, why don't you do health coaching? Mm-hmm. And I investigated it, and I actually did a whole year's course through Health Coaching U in the States on Zoom twice a week.
Oh, yeah.
And got my qualification through there, and then just started coaching people. And I like it because I don't believe in dieting. I believe in healthy eating. So I never call it a diet. I call it a meal plan. And I will help people with their meal plans, and I help them get onto what's good for their bodies. And we'll look at what their specific needs are.
You know, that's really in line with, the shows about spirituality and metaphysics. And yet what you're talking about, and my viewers and listeners are pretty familiar about with my 3 pillars, the 3 pillars ebook, which is the 3 pillars of your life are mental, physical, and spiritual. So even though we may be in a dream and an illusion of this lifetime, you still have to take care of that physical pillar so you can enjoy life. So I like what you're talking about there. Would you be able to give me a distinction? Are you more like organic nutrition, or would you call yourself a naturopath, or what? How am I on the right track there?
More organic. I believe in organic way of doing things, and more, and I suppose I shouldn't say this, but more towards vegetarian and plant meals rather than meat, unless the cows are put out to pasture. I don't believe in farming where cows are put into sheds and milked in sheds. Mm-hmm. They must be able to graze freely. The same with lambs and sheep and pigs. I also don't believe in farmed fish. I think everything should be free to roam and grow as nature intended it to be.
Well, I don't know why you would say I shouldn't say this. I mean, there's a large segment of the population of the world that's vegetarian or vegan. I haven't eaten red meat in 35 years. And that's what you're talking about. I mean, your attitude about all of the animals and plants and should be free to roam or be organic. I mean, this is really a growing paradigm and belief amongst the population of the world, despite the craziness going on. And I believe that you probably have a lot of people who are right in alignment with you on this.
Yeah, but I've got 2 sons that are vegan.
Oh, wow.
And one makes up for them, unfortunately. We haven't been able to convert him yet. I personally haven't eaten red meat since I was 18.
Wow.
So quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. How can people utilize your expertise in nutrition and healthcare to help them deal with the stressful times that everybody's undergoing in the entire world right now during this this pandemic or this fear-demic?
I think food is really good at this time to look at what you're actually eating, because when people are stressed, they'll reach for the packet of chips or the chocolate or a snack bar, and it's not always the healthiest. It's full of sugar, and all that sugar does is add to the stress in your body, which then manifests inflammation in your body, which causes more stress. So you need to look. So I try and get people to look at their way of eating. So I'd say to them, do a food diary for me for a week, and let's go through that together. And then, like I had a client in England, he had his goals beautifully set out. He knew what he had to do. He just wasn't eating correctly. So what I did with him, I said, you don't need me. I'll take you shopping. And we went to the shops, and I said, okay, show me where you shop. And he walked down all the ready meals and all that aisle. And I said, come back this way. Let's go to this aisle where all the natural stuff is. He said, AD, it takes me too long to cook that. I said, okay, you buy what you normally buy. I'm going to buy what I think you should be eating, and we'll go to your home and we'll cook it together. I finished the meal 10 minutes before he did, starting from scratch. So I had him converted. So I try and show people by example of how they should be eating, rather than telling them what they should be eating, and trying to find out what their body needs. So if need be, we would do an elimination diet. So we'll take out dairy, for example, for 2 weeks, and then gradually add it. And if they start feeling bad, we know they shouldn't be having too much dairy. Swap your dairy products for something else. If it's meat, and a lot of people, I mean, we came to Holland, and because my son's vegan, we went vegetarian. And we joined people for a meal the one day, and they had little pork sausages there. And he looked at it and he says, oh, I feel like that pork sausage. I said, okay. He was so ill that night that we knew we don't touch anything. We do still have some fish, so we're not vegan, but otherwise we're totally on seeds, plants, and all organic.
What you were saying about most foods are filled with sugars and people eating wrong things. What I have found that regular exercise on a pretty stressful basis, and I'm sure my viewers and listeners get sick of me talking about it, but I'm a runner, and I run 5 to 6 days a week pretty hard. And I'm getting up there in age, and I have found most people my age are just a little worse off than I am. And it's not like that I won't have an occasional bowl of ice cream. I love chocolate. I might have a couple little Hershey's pieces laying around, and I'll have a beer or two once in a while. And it's not like I do that all the time. But the thing is, when you do stress your body through a regular exercise, you actually burn those things off much quicker. They don't stay in your body, and you don't do it every day. I mean, you do it in moderation. I mean, this is a reason I don't keep ice cream here. I mean, if I do, I will have 2 big bowls all at once. So instead, I might go once in a while and go get a cone or something, but that's it. But the thing is, so speaking of the physical pillar, you have to take care of your nutrition properly. but also combine it with regular fitness and exercise. And where you live, it's cycling. Everybody cycles there.
Everybody cycles, absolutely. And it's amazing. I watched the lady, she must have been, I think, a day under 90 on this big bike. And I was really watching her because she looked frail. And I thought, this big bike, and she was tiny, how is she going to get on this bike? She hopped on the bike and off she went. Now, I must say that about the Dutch people. They do their exercise, and you'll see them walking their dogs, whether they're on 2 crutches, they're out walking their dogs. And I think if you do a lot more physical because you're running and you enjoy that. We try and get in at least the minimum 10,000 steps. Even besides riding our bikes, we try and get 10,000 steps in a day.
Yeah.
And I think one should. And also, if you can, before you have a meal, do at least 4,000 of those steps. If you're trying to lose weight or something like that. If you're not, 10,000 steps throughout the day is good. But also vary the pace. 5,000 of those 10,000 steps should be power walking. So you're walking fast, but you can still talk. You're not getting out of breath. But really fast walking, swinging your arms, walking fast. The other 5 can be normal walking.
Well, and it's pretty well known that when you have finished a high level of workout, oh, I see my cat Maya has come to join us. If she jumps up, she's kind of a star in the podcast here.
Good.
When you do strenuous exercise, the body, for about 30 to 60 minutes post exercise, tends to absorb nutrients much more in order to recuperate. But you want the right nutrients. Generally you want complex carbohydrates, that type of thing, when you're finished with hard exercise.
So your whole grains, not processed grains, your whole grains, you should be eating some of that. And then also you can have your fruits and vegetables.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
But unfortunately, I would say 50% of the people would rather grab something processed, a slice of white bread, which should be a no-no, and things like that.
They still make white bread? I guess. I don't know. I haven't had white bread in decades. So.
I look at some of the people walking out with these big loaves of white bread, and I think, no. I must admit, I've gone very much for spelt. I love the taste of spelt or buckwheat.
Oh, yeah, buckwheat's great. Yeah.
Buckwheat pancakes are the best.
Well, Addie, everything we're talking about here is just common sense. It really is common sense. But and again, I hate to keep harping on what's going on in the world of complete chaos now. Common sense is just gone out the window. And even though adult people know better, they say, it's just like your friend, but it takes too long. I'm just going to buy this crap over here because I can fix it in 5 minutes instead of 7 minutes. That type of thing. So
everybody wants to do everything in a fast way. And when we eat our meals, we should be mindful. The TV should be off, the computer should be off, the mobile should be away, and you should be focusing and enjoying the food that you're eating. It's not a matter of getting it down as quickly as you can. You must eat mindfully and enjoy the plate of food and enjoy the process of cooking it as well, because that's all part of eating your food.
Now you tell me I'm a bachelor and I eat as fast as can. I race my cat to see who can eat the fast.
No, sit, relax and enjoy it.
All right, I'll have to remember that for dinner tonight. So.
Enjoy the whole process. Even making the food, it should be prepared with happiness, because that happiness gets transferred into your food. And mindfulness, and just enjoy it. Yeah. It's a whole lovely process. We're feeding our bodies.
Well, and our minds, and that's why I love talking to you because, you have this ability, this understanding, this knowledge about excellent nutrition and health. But, as I stated in the intro, which I stole right off of your website, that, you understand very deeply about the law of attraction, which is like attracts like, or that which you think and dwell upon consistently is more sent to you. Why do you think so many people seem to have such a hard time understanding and practicing the law of attraction?
That's a difficult one. I think a lot of people think it's a lot of woo-hoo. Because they don't delve into it, they don't want to take the time to look what it's about. But it's a general law that's been out there for years. Mm-hmm. It's been a part of our lives. I mean, I remember as a child when I expressed gratitude for something, I seemed to get more of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I automatically started expressing gratitude and saying thank you, because thank you is a gratitude. So I don't know why people don't realize that. And I look at the people that don't, they're actually very unhappy.
Yes.
Because they're so focused on everything that's negative, and yet there are so many possibilities that we could do and make ourselves happy. And, just walk and look at a flower. Mm-hmm. And how did that flower get there? It's growing up in between cement blocks. What persistence did that flower have to grow in that cement block? And it's beautiful. It's nature. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing.
And I've discussed this many times, the world always is looking outside of it. People are looking outside of themselves for the answer. Just yesterday, I had a conversation with a good friend of mine, and she has undergone over the last few years a series of accidents. And it's almost always somebody running into her or bumping into her or coming on. And she even said, I don't know why this happens. It's all never my fault. It always happens, and she's not one to believe, in this. And I could sit down and explain it to her. You're attracting it, but you're right. And where this mentality comes from is the world lives by the credo, I'll believe it when I see it, instead of coming from I'll see it when I believe it. They don't believe in the law of attraction. Well, I can't see it yet. Here we are in the midst of a virus pandemic, and people believe it, but they can't see the virus. Well, why is it this time they believe in it? Oh, well, people are dying around. Well, but look, if they really look at all the people, every single one of the 8 billion people in the world are attracting into their life something that is coming from where they can't see. So we've got to switch that around, from I'll see it when I believe it.
Yeah, but I think too many people are scared to believe, mm-hmm. because it's such a fast world we're living in that they don't give themselves the chance to believe that something good could be happening to them. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you ever knew this, but we started a small hotel in Cape Town, and because of bombs going off at the V&A waterfront and stuff, the same bank closed 80 of us down on the same day.
Oh.
We had put everything, our life savings, into this little hotel. Okay?
Yeah.
Not a single person knew that we were closing down until the day we had to close the front door.
Wow.
Fred and I were still walking around. We were laughing. We were joking with people. We were talking to people. We were talking about future plans. And this one lady said to us, how could you be so constantly happy and not be crying and stuff all the time? I said, what are tears going to help? Mm-hmm. I said, I've got to believe that something out there, this happened because something better is waiting for us.
Why did they close you guys down?
We couldn't afford to pay the bond, the mortgage anymore.
Oh, okay.
Because when the bombs went off, Within 2 days, we were 95% full. Within 2 days, we had not a single booking.
So it was a
And
financial crisis in South
it
Africa.
was a
Oh, I
crisis.
see.
Yeah. Restaurants, hotels, big hotels, everybody was really, really struggling.
Wow.
Much like's happening now again with the hospitality industry and the entertainment industry. But, there's always, I believe you've got to just look and see that something better is going to come along. And there's always a reason why something happens.
Yeah. Well, I think, I'm sorry, I think the world, if they want to learn how to utilize the law of attraction in their life more, they better they need to look within themselves to see that it's coming from within them. They're
Yes.
projecting out in the world what they're in. So the universe just sends more to, and again, they need to believe it first before they see it.
My hope that after all this has settled, and we're talking about going back to the normal, I don't want us to go back to the normal. We need to look at how we're living. The world is so materialistic. Everybody wants the best, the bigger, the better. That's all they're working for. That's not what life is about. And believe me, they get the best TV, they get the best car. That doesn't bring them happiness.
Yeah.
That's not what happiness is about. Happiness comes from within you. And that's the only thing that can make you happy. External materialistic things do not make us happy. We might think it does, but it doesn't.
I think we need to get you on the news networks, on the BBC or CNN and say, or the CBC in Canada, say, listen to Addie. She's got it. She's got to figure it out. No, it's true. I really love what you say here. So,
and we give our things away too quickly. What I love about here too is that they have what they call a kringloop. So anything that you don't use or can find useful, you take there, and somebody can come buy it from there really cheaply.
What's it called again?
A kringloop. It's like a charity shop.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and they're marvelous. I mean, I don't have curtains. I have hearts in front of my windows.
Oh, interesting. Nice.
I have more in my lounge that covers the windows so that I don't have to draw curtains, which you still can't see in. I bought all of them there for less than €10.
Wow.
If I had to go buy them brand new, and I'm stopping this eternal combustion of what's going on, releasing gases into the air, which we don't need, because I think we're heading for more and more pandemics because of what's happening to the earth. It's warming up. We've got to stop it.
Yeah. Well, Addie, you have such a beautiful organic view, healthy view of the world, and that's why we have you on World Awakenings today to share this beautiful idea, and hopefully people who watch this and listen to this will take away your beautiful ideas. And I want to continue in this vein for a moment. And considering what the utter chaos, the state of the world is in right now, what, if anything, do you think people can do to help the world get back on a positive track? It's kind of a big order. I'm just curious what you think.
Well, how can we get back onto the part? I think we need to believe in one another, that there are still really good people out there. We need to start helping one another more, in that let's work together to create something beautiful rather than criticizing everybody all the time. We don't need to criticize everybody. We're all humans. We're all one race. Let's support one another and believe in one another again and work together to make this planet beautiful again. Stop all this pollution. Stop always wanting something new continuously. We don't need it. And if we could support one another with that and get the belief back that we are a good human race and that there are more good people in this world than bad, I think we could make a change.
And you're still talking in the vein of the law of attraction, because if more and more and more people can come to that, law of attraction works on an individual basis, but it also works on a mass basis of mass human consciousness. And I do believe that much of the chaos in the world is because the entire world, for the very first time in the history of mankind, we're on a global basis as one, living in fear and separation right now. So everybody, you walk down the street and everybody has a mask on, and they walk, feet far away from you because they look at you like you're deaf instead of a person. And so with so much fear being generated, well, it's no wonder we're having a historic season of hurricanes here, in the Caribbean and in the Atlantic, and typhoons and everything else, wildfires in the United States.
Wildfires.
More and more of the mass consciousness is in such a negative vibrational area, So if the world can do what you're talking about, starting loving each other and being, understanding that we're all one. And I mean, the truth is, as we teach or as we give, we learn and we receive. People don't understand that, but maybe they will.
You receive so much by giving.
Yeah.
You actually get more back when you give.
And that's what you're doing, Addie, because of your beautiful talents. You really, really are. I love it. Well, one of the things that I absolutely love about you, and I mentioned right at the start that Addie and I were part of a group called As Soon as Possible Emergency Life Coaching a few years ago. We brought Addie on because she's an expert in EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, which is also known as tapping. And I'll be honest, even with your influence on me, I still don't know. I don't practice it on a regular basis because I've just never been consistent. Can you explain it, how it works and how it's helped your life?
I like calling it psychological acupuncture.
Oh, beautiful.
I think Carol Luke phased that phase first. It's really when you go into a shock or this fear that you're talking about, which is overwhelming people at the moment, and overwhelm and not understanding things. And if what happens in our bodies, that fear gets blocked in our energy levels, because we're all energy. Everything, we are surrounded by energy. That gets blocked in our bodies. Through tapping on the meridian points and talking affirmations, while we're doing it, we are releasing and letting that energy flow through our bodies again.
Mm-hmm.
So the energy flows properly. And if you think of it, what happens at birth? A baby's born and normally gets slapped on the bottom, doesn't it?
Yes.
So that's the first shock. So already, even at birth, some of the energy canals are being closed and shut down. Mm. When we get a big fright, when we're in an accident, your friend that keeps on getting bumped into, her energy levels are just being blocked and blocked and blocked. So through tapping on the meridians, you're opening up and releasing and allowing that energy to flow through your body correctly again. Mm. And it's, I mean, my husband used to say, woo woo. And we were with friends the one day, and he said, I think that gentleman over there needs some tapping. Why don't you take him into the other room and do some tapping with him? And the results were absolutely astronomical.
Really? Wow.
It was mind-blowing. Just the release that he got. And I take it for myself. I was in a very bad place when I went to one of Brad Yates' workshops in London. I think everybody was getting very worried, because when you're releasing all that pent-up blockages in your body, you will either laugh, some people hiccup, some people cry, and some people yawn.
Oh, interesting.
Well, that day I cried, and I didn't stop crying for 2 hours. But I felt amazing afterwards. I felt as light as a fairy, a feather, and my whole life changed that day again. It was amazing. And we were going through a really bad place at that stage, work-wise and our whole situation. And it changed again after that, which was marvelous.
So I have done acupuncture, which, it's funny because at least in the United States, they look at acupuncture as experimental. It's only a couple eons old, a couple thousand years old or even older.
Yes.
And it's interesting as we do it. I remember, they put a needle in one spot, and then maybe on the opposite end of your body, they'll put a needle down there. Yet you feel a burst of energy shoot when that other needle goes in. So there's energy movement going on in a healing manner. So, and I'm sure EFT is like that.
It is, and I find what I tell some people, because they might get nervous going into a meeting. I was nervous coming in today. So even just tapping on your fingertips, because there's lots of meridian points in your fingertips, can calm you down and bring opening up. And, we talk about energy. If you put your hands together and try and push them together slowly, you can feel energy there. There's resistance.
Yeah, that's true. I've noticed that when I do my daily meditation / prayer meditation, I've had sometimes my hands almost unconsciously move together. Right now, I can definitely feel that energy. Right? Yeah, absolutely.
There's that energy there. And if you look at an amethyst stone, I don't know if you've ever had a whole block of amethyst rock, and you go towards it. Oh, you could, even talking about it now, I can feel that energy. It's just the energy coming off that rock. It's amazing. So you spoke about, you could feel it when they put the needles in. EFT works in exactly the same way without the needles. And what's so marvelous about it, once somebody's worked with a practitioner 2 or 3 times, they can do it at home for themselves whenever they feel overwhelmed or anything. I would say do it with a practitioner 2 or 3 times, because the practitioner can ask you the correct questions to get down to the depth of what is actually causing the blockage, by asking the right questions and then phasing the correct affirmations or wording to use to release all that pent up.
I wondered if you had any clients that specific examples that were dramatic results from using EFT, if you happen to think any off the top of your head.
Worried about saying something that can be broadcast. Okay, I had a lady that had been raped repeatedly as a child, and she just couldn't have any relationships with the male because of it. And we did a couple of sessions, and she released so much at every session. She just cried and cried and cried. Wow. And she is now in a relationship with a male.
Nice. It's very dramatic. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's just so happy at the moment. It's amazing. I've had others where I had a patient who thought they had a brain tumor, and it turned out to be benign, which was not cancerous. But because of the shock of being told he's got a brain tumor and the shock of the operation, he developed epilepsy.
Ooh.
And we did a whole lot of tapping. And he has not got epilepsy anymore.
Oh, that's beautiful. Not bad for a nurse.
Yeah, I'm just about crying because of that one. But it took a lot of work, but it was the shock of everything that happened in his body. And that's what people need to realize. When we get these horrendous shocks, Even a death in the family or something can be a shock to our system. And that causes these blockages.
Yeah, I was going to say it would be an energetic block. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so all these are energetic blocks.
Well, Addie, I was wondering, and I should have asked you this before we got on camera here. Would you be willing to lead us right now through maybe a general EFT session that people could use at home, that I could use myself? It doesn't have to be anything complicated. Maybe something rudimentary that we could do.
Yep. Well, let's do something about overwhelm, because I think a lot of people are overwhelmed by fear and whatever is happening in their lives at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do on that. Normally, I would ask the person to evaluate the overwhelm of between 1 and 10. 10 being they are very overwhelmed, 1 they're not so overwhelmed. I would also ask them where they feel it in their body.
Well, can I answer that?
Yeah. Okay.
I'll just use me as an example. Overwhelm, just generally right now in the world, I feel between a 7 and an 8.
Between a 7 and an 8. Okay.
With 10 being the worst.
The highest.
Yeah.
And where do you feel it in your body?
2 places. I feel it in my head and my heart.
Okay. Yeah. Has anything happened in your life recently that would affect your heart, that you say you're feeling it in your heart? Emotion-wise, heart, health-wise?
No, nothing really.
No.
Really, it's more a reflection of the global situation. Yeah, personally, really nothing for them. No.
Nothing. Okay. So with the tapping points are, we say the karate chop point is where we start, which is over there. Or you can tap with your 2 wrists together, because there are lots of meridian points in there. Then we're going to go to the top of the eyebrow. Then on the other side of your eye, just up here, just under the eye. I'll tell you the points again. Under the nose, on the chin, and then tap broadly with your hand on your chest.
Okay.
And then under your arms, basically where ladies' bra straps would be. And then on top of your head, as if you've got a tennis ball on top of your head, and you're going to tap on the top of your head over there.
Okay, we do fingertips.
With your fingertips. And only use your fingertips, and don't tap so hard that you hurt and bruise yourself. It's just like, yeah.
Sometimes I'm tempted, yes.
It's just a light little tap. It doesn't have to
I just
be
watch the nightly news. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, I need this, I need this. And often if you feel overwhelmed, you can just tap on your chest. You don't have to remember the points. EFT is very forgiving, because you don't have to remember the correct routine. You don't have to remember what to say. It's very forgiving. Say whatever comes up.
Okay.
To yourself. Okay. So we're going to start with a deep breath. In and out, and do another one. And then on the karate chop point, both hands. And you can use one hand or both. I like using both sides.
Okay.
Even although I feel this overwhelm, and repeat after me, sorry. Even although repeat whatever I say. Even although I feel this overwhelm.
Even though I feel this overwhelm.
I want to love and respect myself as I am.
I want to love and respect myself as I am.
Even although this overwhelm is overtaking my body.
Even though this overwhelm is overtaking my body.
I choose to honor myself.
I choose to honor myself.
At this time.
At this time.
Even although this overwhelm is so extensive.
Even though this overwhelm is so
extensive, so much.
Extensive, okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I choose to love,
I choose to love,
honor, and respect myself.
honor, and respect myself.
On the top of the I, this overwhelm,
This overwhelm,
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I want to release it.
I want to release it.
Sorry, under the nose. I want to let this go.
I want to let this go.
On the chin, it's not serving any purpose.
It's not serving any purpose.
This overwhelm,
This overwhelm,
I'm letting it go.
I'm letting it go.
On top of the head, I'm choosing to let it go.
I'm choosing to let it go.
It's not, on the eye, it's not serving any purpose.
It's not serving any purpose.
On the side of the eye, in fact, it's stressing me out.
In fact, stressing me out.
Under the eye, letting it go.
Letting it go.
Under the nose, letting peace into my life.
Letting peace into my life.
Letting love into my life.
Letting love into my life.
On the chest, I feel at peace now.
I feel at peace now.
Under the arms, it doesn't serve me to be any other way.
It doesn't serve me to be any other way.
On top of the head, I need to let happiness into my life.
I need to let happiness into my life.
On the side of the eyes, I need to let belief into my life.
I need to let belief into my life.
On the side of the eye, I need to believe that we are heading for a better place in this world.
I need to believe that we are heading for a better place in this world.
I believe that the human nature is good.
I believe that human nature is good.
I believe in myself.
I believe in myself.
Under the chin, on the chin, I need to believe that.
I need to believe that.
On the chin, on the chest, sorry, to move on with my life.
To move on with my life.
I am under the arms. I am moving on with my life.
I am moving on with my life.
And then I like ending with this little thing. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
On the side of the eye, please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
On the side of the eye, thank you.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you.
On another nose, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
On the chest, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the arms, I love you.
I love you.
Take a deep breath. And shake your hands.
I'm cured. Actually, I feel lighter. I do. I really feel lighter.
Fantastic.
And I love how you finish with some ho'oponopono.
Exactly. And you should twist it the other way around. It should first be, I love you. I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you. But it doesn't matter in what sequence you say that either. And when you're saying that, remember, you are loving yourself. You are forgiving yourself. You are sorry to yourself. It's not to anybody else. It's for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're selfish. We say it for ourselves.
Yeah. For people who don't know, ho'oponopono is the Hawaiian Huna religious practice and ritual, which is very, very, very in alignment with the law of attraction.
Extremely so.
And even Hawaiian.
if you just say, I love you, and you think about it, and you think of things what you could love about yourself. I'm sorry. What are you sorry about in your life? I forgive you. I forgive myself for maybe some thoughts that I had that weren't right. And thank you. I'm thanking myself for moving on.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up. If people would want to know a little bit more about ho'oponopono, I actually have a blog on my website carlgruberlifecoach.com that I wrote about Ho'oponopono. And the biggest purveyor of that in the North America is Law of Attraction icon Joe Vitale. And
Yes.
he teaches that. He teaches courses on it. I used to live in Hawaii, and unfortunately, I never stayed there long enough to go study with some of the local kahunas. I would love to go back and do that. So, folks, we have been talking to an amazing, amazing lady from Rotterdam, Netherlands, via South Africa and the UK, Adrienne Kopp. Adrienne has a beautiful website called, let's see if I can find it here again. What is the name of the website again?
Inspired Health Solutions.
That's it. Oh, yeah, it's right in front of my face. I've got some notes here. InspiredHealthSolutions.com. And you also have a wonderful Facebook site, which I'm a member of, called Body, Mind, Soul, and Spirit. And you post some beautiful things on there.
Yeah, well, that was started by Mike Pinkster, who asked me to join him. And it is a lovely website, a Facebook page.
Yeah. And folks, if you want to work with Addie, if you do go to her website, inspiredhealthsolutions.com, you can sign up for sessions with Addie. I think I was on it a little while ago, and you do some 30-minute complimentary sessions.
Yes, just to see if I could work with the person and if the person wants to work with me.
That's very good. Yeah. In our life coaching business, we call those laser calls, something kind of quick. And that's, I think that's important to do, is to see there's got to be a chemistry. I mean, because as a coach, you have the right to say, well, I don't know if I can help you, but maybe I know another coach you could work with, or vice versa. I did a laser coach call with a lady a few months ago and thought it went well, and she decided it wasn't going to work, and I was perfectly fine with that, because there has to be a energetic chemistry with it.
Action, and you need to feel that you can help them. I'm not going to waste people's money by saying I can help them when I can't. I can rather refer them to somebody else, because they might need something more than what I can give them.
Adrienne Kopp, you are the real deal. I really appreciate it. Kopp is spelled K-O-P, and Carl is spelled with a K. But thank you so much, Addie, for taking time to come on the show. I know it's early evening over there in the Netherlands, and I'm sure you're getting ready for dinner or something. But it's good to reconnect with you again, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, and let's please stay connected.
Absolutely. Thank you, Addie.
I'd love that, Carl. Thank you very much.
This is World Awakenings podcast host Carl Gruber. Now, first off, however, a quick correction regarding episode number 31's guest, Adrienne Kopp. The correct URL for her website is inspiredhealthsolutions.org, not .com, as I mistakenly stated. Now, to this special one-time only outro for the World Awakenings podcast. Because of the desperate, confusing, frustrating, and chaotic time we now find ourselves in on a worldwide basis because of the virus pandemic, racial strife, violent protests, continuing erosion of individual freedoms, ever-increasing censorship on a global scale like never experienced before, and ever-increasing control and surveillance of populations by governments throughout the world, and the global egoic paradigm that we are and need to be separate from each other and are not one, I give you this song called We Are the World. This song was recorded in 1985 by some of the biggest music stars in the world then. It is not outdated. Now, more than ever, the message of this important song is needed. That message is, we are one people as a planet. We are not separate. Love, caring, truth, and helping each other is what is needed now. I encourage you to turn up your speakers and listen to this song, because we need to take this message to heart now and realize we are the world.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life, the
a change. We all a part of God's great big family. And the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day. Just you and me. Well, send them your heart so they know that someone cares, and their lives will be stronger and free, as God has shown us by turning stone to bread. And so we all must lend a helping hand.